Greetings! Pentax Forum staff writer Chris Field here with part 2 of our look at Pentax's new software-based variable neutral density filter for the K-3 III series, K-3 Mark III series, including the K-3 Mark III Monochrome. Please bear with me. I'm going to try to do video on one camera of me shooting stills at another camera, so it should be a little bit exciting. Enjoy! All right, so I've got two cameras hooked up. I had to do this a second time, by the way. The first time I tried to have the video camera on a tripod and handhold the monochrome, and I forgot that I was Italian and talk with my hands, so it's basically the camera waving wildly about in and out of focus. It didn't really prove to be too helpful. So let's walk through the process here. We're going to press Menu and go right down to the shooting settings. And graduated ND simulator is now a choice here. So we're going to go in, and you'll see that I have the maximum dimming amount set to -5 EV. In a moment, I'll walk you through what the different EV settings look like on a scene with a little more clouds in it. But here, I just put the maximum on so you'll be able to see the effect while I'm photographing or I should say videoing the back of the camera while it's in live view mode. Not the best situation. So when you go into ND Simulator, your choices are normal, reverse, darkens the selected area, and then has a sort of a fade out to it. We're just going to do normal for now, again, so you can see the maximum sort of effect. There's also custom settings there, so you can come up with your own and set them. So let's go back here, go out to live view, and let's take a photo. So you just hit the shutter as normal and it shoots too. Now here's what's interesting. It immediately drops you into effectively a post-processing mode. And you can go over here to the auto exposure lock, and that rotates. You can see the lines rotating around. So which area you're going to do the variable density filter. We'll leave it as the top half of the photo. You can also change the size here by pushing the exposure change here, and then that allows us, you can see the top line is crawling up and down here as I hit it. So let's set that here, and then you just press OK, and it immediately processes it. You can see that we've gotten to a much darker sky than what you're seeing in the live view. So that's it, really. I mean, it's really a very nice, simple, straightforward process. Can you do this in Photoshop? Well, yeah, sure, but the difference is that by the time you're in Photoshop, you're back at your place and working on a computer, and you can't say, gee, I wish I would have. Here, you process it, you take the photo, you process it, and you can immediately reshoot. So for my way of shooting anyway, where I kind of work things as I photograph a scene, this is much more suited, and I like it much better than post-processing. Now that you've seen how to use the Pentax variable neutral density filter, let's take a little deeper dive into the actual effect that you can achieve with it. This is a similar scene that I shot earlier in the week. Unfortunately, we had a little bit more drama to the sky, and so let's take a look and see what the actual effect is. I've put up the EXIF data here so you can see that I had the camera set to manual. The exposure doesn't change through any of these photos. What changes is this is the first photo without the variable neutral density filter, and then I'm going to walk it through, I should say, increasing the amount of darkening that I'm adding to the filter. So this is no filter. This is -1 stop EV. You can see the sky already starting to come in. -2 stops, -3 stops. You can see again, these are taken within seconds of each other, so it dramatically improves sky, I would say there, if that's the effect that you're going for, which I am almost always Do like my Ansel Adams guys, that's for sure. 4 EVs, and now down to 5 EVs. You can see I've even let the sun in here a little bit, and yet you can really get a whole lot of texture and exposure to the sky here that simply wasn't there in the first in the first original image without the variable neutral density filter. So this thing really does what it does, and as you can see, there's no other effect on the photo itself. It's smooth. I am using the setting here that allows the neutral density to smooth out and fade away. So that's I think it's called reverse. So that's yeah, it's very useful, very, very useful. So, is the Pentax variable neutral density filter worth the money, worth the $90 purchase price? It's not the right question. The right question is, does this fit your photography? It certainly fits mine, and for me, it's a no-brainer. It's much easier to use than a physical neutral density filter. I have some of those. I have good ones. It's extra stuff to carry around in your bag, extra stuff to fumble with, extra either copies of it for different lenses or step-up rings to fit them on different lenses. This works with everything on your camera. And you don't have the X problem that you get with most, I should say, variable neutral density filters that use crossed grids. So all in all, it's quick, easy to use, and just a no-brainer if it fits your photography. Now, another question that I get is, shouldn't this be free? I find this question puzzling. If I put my other hat on, my day job, I'm a software engineer, and yay us, we just got our 5th patent granted in architectures for distributed data management systems, data architecture patents. And hey, great us, but here's the thing. We like to get paid when we work, and I'm sure you like to get paid when you work. So I'm not sure why we would think that software engineers would build new features into Pentax cameras and not want to get paid for it. At the same time, don't you want new features? I mean, I'm not really interested in astrophotography, no disrespect to it. It's just never caught my fancy. But if one of my grandchildren gets the itch in the next year or two, I'd much, much rather be able to upgrade my Pentax K-3 III Monochrome by unlocking a couple of features and adding them to my existing camera that will at that point be a few years old, rather than having to buy a whole new camera system. So I think it's a win-win. If you don't want it, you don't need to buy it. If you do want it, you can upgrade your camera for less than the price of pretty much any lens that you could buy. So all in all, I think both the ability to have these upgrades available and this particular one for my photography are win-wins. I'm Chris Viola. Have a great day.